Hey guys, we are back with another trade breakdown video. Well requested. You guys seem to love these, and I'm going to try and bring them to you at least every couple weeks, maybe once a week, once every other week. But this was a beautiful play. I forecasted on the RM Trading Instagram beforehand as a potential setup to look for, as well as in the Discord. I gave two options here, and option B is the one that played out. So the options that I gave, we had this supply zone over here, right, as a key area that we could potentially see something like this come into, right, and then look to sell. This was option one. Option two was a sweep of this buy side liquidity pool that I've talked about before, guys. We go for one, we're going to be looking for the other. So what I wanted to do here was look for sells after we take out this major liquidity pool, right? And unfortunately, this happened in London session, so I was unable to take this trade. But I'm going to show you guys multiple opportunities in London session that resulted in, each trade resulted in over 7%. I'm going to show you an M2 entry, an M5 entry, then I'm going to show you the one that happened later in New York, okay? So let's jump into the lower time frames here. You guys can see here, we've now run this high over here, and Asia is going to start to break to the downside. The reason we should not be counting this, in my opinion, as a break of structure is because it was caused in Asia, and time and price for me is major. When we are coming into London session, a lot of the time we will take one side and head for the other. That's how the daily cycle play works. And that's exactly what happens here. You can see we have a ton of sell side liquidity here. That's the reason for the big move. So all this was a false move down. And I've talked about this before. We want to see an additional sweep before the move actually happens, just tricking in early people. And then we like to get in after that, right? So if I just hit play here, you can see we come up taking out that buy side liquidity pool one more time. And then now Asia session has been taken out. So based on the daily cycle, a lot of the times, I've talked about this in a previous video, a lot of the times we'll take one side and we'll go for the other, right? Especially Frankfurt into London, we will take the top of Asia, head for the other, or vice versa. That's usually how the daily cycle play works. So now with this in mind, you can jump to the lower time frames here, and I'm gonna show you guys a nice M2, and then I'm gonna show you guys an M5 entry that happened later on in London, right? So we've now taken out major liquidity. We're gonna be looking to short, right, to opposing liquidity. And that's exactly what happens here. We have this nice M2 order block over here that we wanna see broken. And you may ask me why this M2 order block? Because this M2 order block right here is the one that pushed price up, and then we wanna see a break below it, because this is letting us know that it was most likely a liquidity grab. There's no certainties. I can't say it is a liquidity grab. We don't know it's a liquidity grab until we break structure in the opposing direction. So let's just play this out here. Boom, you can see we have a nice break of structure here on the M2. Now what we want to see is some sort of inducement. Okay, so now we have that. So now this is the area I'd be looking for shorts. We have a nice M2 order block over here. We have this inducement right here. We know where we want to target. We want to target Asia lows at bare minimum. So I'm just going to mark this out as red. Give me one sec here, guys. So this is our liquidity pool. We have this inducement. We've had this break of structure over here as well. And you could put your entry anywhere above this inducement. And your stop loss just has to be above Asia high, or it can be below this high, above this high. But for the sake of the video, we'll do Asia high, because who's complaining about a 6 pip stop loss? And we want to be targeting Asia low as our first target, and then our further targets could be below taking out these short-term lows over here, right? So if we just target this one, it's a 1 to 5 roughly, and so on and so on, okay? So obviously if we press play over here, you can see we're tagged into this trade beautifully. Let me start to break to the downside, right? Boom, okay, so we're clearly breaking to the downside. Now, you'll notice that we end up creating another price leg, which gives us another selling opportunity. And you guys will see that here in a split second. Boom, okay. So now we're in this position. So this was the first entry, okay? So I'm gonna mark this across. You would be running right now at about a 1 to 4. Who's complaining about that? Not me. I'm just gonna move this across. You guys get this is the first entry. Now, we've had another break of structure to the downside below this low. Why this low? Because this low here on the M5 is responsible for this big move up. So now we've broken below it. That's a break of structure. We're most likely going to come into this region here to look for short opportunities. Okay? This area of interest is a nice 5-minute order block. Let me just draw this out. I'm not sure why it just did that, guys. Give me one moment. Another area of interest here. We have another inducement here. This is beautiful, okay? So I obviously missed these opportunities because I was sleeping, but these were 2 textbook trades to plan, something you can study, okay? So entry on this one would be at this 5-minute order block, stop just above the high, swept liquidity, we're looking good. And again, targets could be anywhere below these lows over here. So say we're targeting this short-term low over here, okay? I'm just gonna draw this across. I love how we come up corrective as well, right? We're coming up very, very corrective into the area of interest. We get tagged, and this thing absolutely rips, okay? So this would have been my first target. I would have kept rolling stop down, but I would have honestly taken a lot of my position off at this 4-hour imbalance right in here, okay? So about 50% of this imbalance right here. And why this imbalance? Because imbalances a lot of the time will act as a point of interest, an area that we could rebalance price and price will head in the opposing direction, right? It doesn't always have to be an order block. I personally wanted to see longs down here, but we didn't get that today, which is totally fine. But again, if you were to mark out these 2 positions here, the first one would be about a 1 to 7, 1 to 6.5, and then this one for a 1 to 5. All because we ran buy side liquidity on the higher time frame, and we know the market has to come into not only it has to come into a discount here to either continue up or give us a reaction, but we have to take out opposing liquidity, and you can see all this low resistance liquidity over here, right? All of these lows, right? So yeah, those were the 2 London setups that happened, and then now I'm going to show you guys the area of interest that I was looking at for sells on EU that unfortunately didn't happen until market closed, or not market closed, till my hours were done. But let's just bring this across. So now all we're doing right now, guys, is following M15 order flow, right? You can see we're clearly coming bearish. You can see the shift in momentum. Look at the strength. Look at how choppy we come up here versus the down candles, how aggressive they are, right? That's a great way to determine where momentum is in the market, right? This is the area I wanted to look for sells from. And unfortunately, this thing didn't happen until later. And I'm going to show you the lower time frame entry that I would have had. Obviously, this is later in the day, so it's trickling back up, but this is what I wanted to see. I wanted to see a mitigation of this order block here, and then I wanted to break to the lower time frames here and look for a short opportunity. Again, sweep, right, on the lower time frame, break structure to the downside, and then this order block would have gave you another entry opportunity for like a 1 to 3, I think, but again, this is very, very late into the day. Now, I'm going to show you guys the loss that I took today. Unfortunately, that's how my day went today. Missed the trade to plan in London session, obviously, because I was asleep. And then there was an A+ setup here that I'm going to show you guys that unfortunately didn't work. But guess what? Probabilities. Wouldn't change a thing. Very, very happy. And I'm going to show you guys quickly that Swissy long that I took, okay? So this was the area I was looking at. I wanted to see this happen, okay? So all week I've been waiting for this low to get taken out. All week, it's Tuesday, but I wanted to see a run of this low to then take the market back up into this 4-hour order block to either continue lower to take out this low that we're heading now, or to continue to the upside, right? Either way, this is the area I wanted to look for longs because this is a significant liquidity pool, right? On the 15-minute time frame here, you can see after we took out the sell side liquidity to the left, we had a break of structure clearly in New York. We had a clear break structure above this high. Okay, we had a break structure above this high, and then we had a break structure above this high. 2 breaks of structures, and I'm happy with this, right? On the 5-minute time frame, we can see that we had this nice order block right here that swept liquidity to the left, causing a break to the upside. So I wanted to look for longs in this area. You guys obviously see that the trade lost, but I just want to show you guys what I was looking at. I was on the lower time frame, the 2-minute to be exact, and once I had a reaction of this M5 order block breaking above this, so you can see we have the down and then the sharp move up, I market executed in this order block right here, and my stop loss was just below this low for like 4 pips, okay? So I did have a nice reaction right away, but then unfortunately it came down. My target was Asia high. Okay, so I thought we were going to run up into the Asia high at least for a nice 1 to 6, and the trade was an L, and I'm very, very happy with it because a trade to plan for me is a nice day because we don't have control over the outcomes of each individual trade. All we can do is take our A+ setups with our edge. That's to our trading plan, and just go from there. So very, very happy with the trade itself. It feels good to be back, and I still have a feeling this is gonna be a great week in the market. So I'll keep you guys updated. I hope you guys enjoyed this little trade breakdown video. If you did, please drop a like, comment, and subscribe. If you're new, we're on the way to 40,000 subscribers, which is mad. And yeah, I appreciate every single one of you. So what do I say at the end of every single video? Let's be 1% better every single day. Take care, everyone, and have a great rest of your trading week.